Good evening. Tonight, we turn to a cultural and digital phenomenon that continues to unite millions of people around the globe. Wordle. Yes, the five-letter puzzle that started as a modest brain teaser has become an everyday ritual, almost a morning coffee companion for players who crave that mix of logic, luck, and linguistic skill. And on this September 18th, puzzle number 1552 delivered a word that was both common and clever, simple, yet tricky, and one that could make players smile once they saw it. Today's answer was knife. That's right, a sharp word in every sense of the term. As usual, hints trickled in across fan forums and puzzle guides, guiding players toward the solution, and while some cracked it in just a couple of guesses, others wrestled with misleading vowels and consonants before finally seeing the blade hidden in plain sight. Wordle's daily mystery is never just about the word. It's about the journey, the debate. So how did today's hints stack up? For those who didn't want the answer outright, clues were given to point players in the right direction. First, it was revealed that there were no repeating letters. That's often a relief in Wordle, because repeated letters can trip up even the most seasoned players. Next, we learned the word contained two vowels, which immediately narrowed the field. The real curveball, however, came with the third and fourth clues. The word begins with a silent letter, and specifically, it begins with K. For puzzle solvers, that silent K often evokes words like knock, kneel, or knack. Finally, the fifth clue tied everything together. This word could be both a kitchen utensil and a weapon. At that point, for many, the answer became obvious. Still, arriving there required both patience and clever guessing. It's these kinds of twists, silent letters, double meanings, that keep the Wordle community buzzing. Wordle's popularity lies in its elegant simplicity. 6 attempts to guess a five-letter word. Green squares for letters in the correct place, yellow squares for letters in the wrong place, and gray for misses entirely. Yet within that simple structure lies an entire universe of strategy. Players debate the best starting word endlessly. Should you open with a vowel-rich option like ado or audio to quickly test the core sounds of English? Or is it better to lean into consonant blends with words like stare, train, or close? Experts point out that E, A, and R are the most common letters in English, while Z, Q, and J should be avoided at the start. Today's puzzle, beginning with a silent K, tested those theories. Many players who began with vowel-heavy openers found themselves circling around the answer, but not quite landing on it until they tested more unusual consonants. That's the joy of Wordle. Even with preparation, you're never guaranteed a clean win. Beyond gameplay mechanics, Wordle has become a cultural ritual. Offices hold informal competitions to see who can solve it the fastest. Friends share their results on social media, comparing those little grids of green and yellow boxes like badges of honor. Families text their daily results to one another, turning Wordle into a thread that ties generations together. And when an answer sparks debate, like today's, where some complained that knife felt too obvious while others argued it was deviously clever, the conversation extends far beyond the puzzle itself. It becomes a collective experience. That shared ritual is one reason Wordle has maintained its hold, even years after its debut. Unlike other trends that flame out quickly, Wordle thrives on consistency. Every morning, one word. Every day, one mystery. It is predictable in its structure, unpredictable in its solutions, and endlessly discussable in its outcomes. Now, let's consider the psychology behind why a word like knife works so well. Linguists argue that silent letters add a layer of difficulty that tests our assumptions about spelling. Cognitive scientists point out that the brain loves pattern recognition, And when those patterns are broken, such as a K that doesn't make a sound, it forces us to think more creatively. Moreover, words with double meanings tap into multiple associations. A knife is not only an object in the kitchen, but also a symbol of danger, sharpness, and even artistry. By choosing such words, the puzzle keeps itself from becoming stale. Each answer is a mini lesson in language, culture, and human perception. Wordle succeeds not just because it entertains, but because it teaches, challenging us to expand our mental lexicons, to notice how words work, and sometimes to rediscover the everyday items we overlook. Looking back at recent puzzles gives us context for today's challenge. Just in the past week, players have confronted words like nadir, noisy, along, lefty, and teeth. Some are abstract, others concrete. Some lean toward the poetic, while others are bluntly descriptive. Together, they form a rhythm that keeps the game engaging. Yesterday's answer, teeth, was visual and tactile, conjuring an image most of us encounter daily. Today's, knife, almost feels like a partner word. Teeth and knife, both tools of cutting and biting, both sharp in different ways. These subtle thematic links are rarely accidental. Wordle's curators often choose words with a cadence, creating mini-narratives across the days. For attentive players, spotting these connections becomes another layer of enjoyment. It's not just about today's word, it's about how it fits into a larger puzzle arc that stretches across the week, the month, and the year. The enduring question, of course, is how to get better at Wordle. Analysts recommend balancing vowel testing with consonant probing. Start with words that cover multiple common letters, then pivot strategically. Don't waste guesses on rare letters unless the pattern strongly suggests it. For today's knife, success often came from players who introduced K early, either as a wild card guess or because they suspected a silent letter trick. Others stumbled because they clung too long to vowel-first strategies. Over time, strong players develop what might be called Wordle intuition, a sense of which words feel likely given the constraints. But even then, luck plays a role. And that, ultimately, is what keeps the game fun. If it were purely about skill, the same players would always dominate. By mixing skill with unpredictability, Wordle ensures that every solver, regardless of experience, has a chance at glory or frustration. As we close, it's worth reflecting on why Wordle continues to matter in 2025. At a time when digital life is noisy, overwhelming, and often divisive, this simple puzzle offers a daily moment of focus. It is short, it is structured, and it rewards both intellect and perseverance. More than a game, it has become a ritual of community, a conversation starter, and a small spark of joy in countless lives. Today's answer, knife, reminded us that even ordinary words can carry layers of surprise, challenge, and meaning. Tomorrow will bring another mystery, another round of debates, and another wave of colorful grids shared across phones and screens worldwide. Wordle's secret is not in its mechanics alone, but in the way it connects us to words, to puzzles, and to one another. And that is why each day, millions return, ready to play again.